Welcome to Becoming More, the podcast where we desire for you to become all that you can be. See, if you're like me, there are days when the weight of stress just makes even the simplest task feel monumental. Time's slow, pressure builds, and it feels like stress is calling the shots. Yet I've learned that the faster we recover and focus, the quicker we can regain control and move forward with purpose. See, I once sat in a room full of high-level business leaders who looked exhausted and their businesses were growing, yet their energy was depleted. When I asked why, the same words kept resurfacing over and over again: pressure, overwhelm, stress. And stress is a choice, and most people are choosing it without even realizing it. That's when I introduce them to a simple pattern interrupt. It's a tool I've used for years to train my brain to move past stress before it costs me time, before it costs me energy, and before it costs me those things called results that are so doggone important. It's called the 5-5-5 rule. Now, how does the rule work? Well, stress thrives in exaggeration, and your brain is wired to overreact. The amygdala, which is the fear center of your brain, sends stress signals before logic actually kicks in. And left unchecked, well, stress hijacks decision making and it actually hijacks your productivity. Yet the 5-5-5 rule is a simple pattern interrupt that forces your brain to actually rewire itself. And the deliberate questions engage the prefrontal cortex. That's this area of our brain, your logical center. Instead of spiraling, your brain shifts to problem solving. And that's the mode that you want to keep it in. When pressure builds, the 5-5-5 rule forces clarity. So here it is. Step one. Will this matter actually in 5 years? You just ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? Because most people don't ask the question. They react as if every inconvenience is going to be a crisis. Now, leaders learn to pause. They learn to pause by taking a breath. See, the emotional part of our brain actually reacts faster than the logical part of our brain. And by taking a breath, it allows us to get to that logical side. Now, we ask ourselves, will this still be important 5 years from now? That's the second 5. Does this have the power to impact my legacy, my long-term vision, or my company's future? Well, if the answer is yes, it deserves strategic attention, not stress. Get creative and ask yourself, what do I want instead? And write down what you desire. Now let's go create it, right? Yet if that answer is no, then move to step 2. Will I even remember this in 5 months? That's a great question. Think back to 5 months ago. What was consuming your thoughts? What were you worrying about? What were you stressing about 5 months ago? And how many of those things actually hold weight today? Because if something is temporary, it's not worth more than temporary response. If the frustration won't even cross your mind in 5 months, it has no place hijacking your focus right now. Now, if you're still holding on, well, then let's move to step number 3, because that is, does this deserve more than 5 minutes of my energy? Your energy is precious. You're either in positive energy or negative energy at every given time. And both of those energies have high positive energy and low positive energy, or high negative energy or low negative energy. Now, you can't stay in high positive all the time, yet you can be in positive energy between low and high, right? Now, if you're already determined that this won't matter long term, then decide, how much space will I allow this to take up in my mind today? So set a 5-minute timer to process it. You can vent, you can write it out, you can hit a pillow, you can talk it out with somebody. Yet when that timer stops, so does your focus on it. Just move forward, because that's the direction that you desire to move anyway. See, the brain doesn't release stress on its own. You have to train it to release stress. So, real world application, well, let's just lead through the pressure, right? Maybe you're in real estate and a deal falls apart. Maybe you've got some money issues. Maybe one of your children did something. You know, a CEO I coached once lost a multi-million-dollar contract due to a last-minute decision from the client. His entire team started spiraling into frustration. Think about that. That's a big contract to lose. And I just asked him, will this matter in 5 years? He thought about it and he said, no, not if we close the next one. I said, well, let's go after the next one. The next day, they secured a better deal. Think about that. The first loss was just a distraction from what they really desired to have, and they were on their way to real opportunity. Things happen to teach us, to help us, and actually to make us stronger. Much like working out, when you have microscopic tears in your muscles, that's what you're doing when you work out, yet your muscle gets bigger through the struggle. See, when someone criticizes you, I got to tell you, early in my career, someone told me I'd never succeed in leadership. And if I let that opinion actually consume me, which I did back then, I actually let it consume me for weeks. I hate to imagine, yet I didn't go on for months. It didn't go on for years, yet I wouldn't be where I am today if I let it bother me too long, right? Will their words matter in 5 years? If I would have known that 5-5-5 rule, I would have said, absolutely not. In 5 years, I'll be a leader. And I was. See, their words only matter when you let them. I love what Eleanor Roosevelt said, that it's not what people say to you, it's what you say to yourself after they stop talking, right? So when you feel overwhelmed, pressure builds, when we believe everything in the world is urgent, then the 5-5-5 cuts through the noise. It resets your focus on what actually moves the needle forward. So here's your challenge for today. Implement the 5-5-5 rule for 7 days. Stress is a habit. And you're either building that habit of stress or you're releasing it through the 5-5-5. And like any habit, it can be changed. And we're going to help you do that. So for the next 7 days, every time stress rises, apply the 5-5-5 rule. Write down how often you realize that that issue isn't worth your time. Watch how much faster you regain control. And after all, you don't have time to stay stuck in stress. Your business, your vision, your future actually demands focus from you and from your team. And as the leader, you're always leading the team forward. See, there's always something bigger ahead when you just stop looking back. I think that's why they make the rear view mirror smaller than the windshield, right? Let's go forward. Apply that 5-5-5 rule, and I know your stress will be less. That's what I want for you, because with stress, you don't become more. And I desire for you to become more every single day. After all, if you desire to achieve things you've never achieved before, then you've got to become the person that you've never been before. And that's what I want to help you do with becoming more. If you like this, subscribe below so you can follow us, and make certain, just hit the button below the link and get the 5-5-5 rule all in one sheet so you can see everything and how it will help your brain. Stay in touch. Thanks.